Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. So, this episode, I want to start off with Brooke and Ridge because I'm going to be honest. Brooke says some things that just had me perplexed. Okay, that's the best way I can sit there and describe the things that Brooke was saying. Because after Ridge tells Brooke the truth about everything, the CPS call, all of it, Taylor knowing, and yes, she was still going to go through with it, all of it. In the beginning, Brooke started to make some sense. Brooke was like, "Why didn't you just not talk to me? If you thought that I really did what you were thinking, why didn't you just not talk to me? Why not give me that respect? Why not give me that courtesy?" And all that stuff was great. And of course, Riz just he gave the stupid look on his face like he always does. Um, so that was annoying. And all the stuff that she started making sense, all the stuff that she said started making sense up until she started talking about self-respect. Okay, so she started talking about self-respect, saying, years and years and years, this merry-go-round and everything like that, just back and forth, and I can't just sit there and open up my heart back to you. And I'm like, okay, this is good so far. You're starting to, I mean, finally after years and years and years, whatever, but you're finally starting to get tired of this, you know, stupid cycle. Okay? She pretty much like her self respect can't take it anymore. But then she started talking about how she'll always love him, and I was like, bro, see, you were doing so well. You were doing so well. You ever saw like The Price is Right, where it's like the little thing is going up, and you're just like, this is good, this is good, this is good, and then you're sitting there telling the contestant, yeah, chill, 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 just stop. And of course, she did that and just went right over, just like that. She was talking about, oh, I always love you, this, that, and the third, and she's hugging this man, and I'm like, and then she's like, oh, she was like, I need to figure stuff out. You need to figure stuff out. What? Now, granted, from what my subscribers is telling me in a live stream, and I think in the comment sections that the actor's going to be taking some time off to be with his family and everything. So I think this is kind of his exit, his whole, his time to himself or whatever. So that's how they're going to do that. Because it's always interesting watching how these actors are going to get time off. They got to do it in a very creative way, um, where they can get the time that they need, and yet, the story can sit there and flow. Because to be honest, a lot of people don't like recasts, even if it's only temporary. Yeah, there's some people that's like, all right, I like the recast better than the original. Some people say that, but for the most part, we don't like recasts. So they have to find these little nifty ways of making it work, and I give them credit for that in some cases. Because I mean, you look at General Hospital and you look at Temporary Michael, people were just not feeling that. So, and granted, that was one of those special cases where it's like they didn't have time to write them off or write them out or whatever. Um, I mean, what kind of crap is that, though? Oh, I'm just gonna sit there and take some time to just be by myself and just really figure things out. Because Brooke is like, listen, we make that decision. Granted, she didn't say it, but she pretty much was like, it needs to be final. You need to either be with her, you need to be with me, but we can't sit there and keep doing this back and forth thing. What's sad is that I'm pretty sure this is not the first time that he had to sit there and choose between two women, um, and he would sit there and say it would be final until it wasn't, and the audience had to sit there and be dragged through this quote unquote merry-go-round. So we'll see. Meanwhile, back at the house, Steffi and Thomas are fighting, even though the mom is like, listen, I can't take this right now. But of course, Thomas is sitting there digging in his heels. Well, what I said was right, and all you had to do is sit there and listen to me, and if you didn't open up your mouth, they would be married, yada yada yada. It's like he's just not getting it. But of course, he's not getting it because he's crazy. And Steffi is just like, telling him the same things that he told him yesterday. This is dishonest. They would have been together. You didn't have to meddle and interfere. You did wrong by your son. And of course, Thomas is like, oh, I'll make it up. The fact that you actually said that you'll just make it up, it's like, this is why I always say that biology doesn't make you a parent. Biology does not make you a parent, okay? It really doesn't. Yeah, you are connected to them by blood, but how do I sit there and say this? You know what? I'm not even going to sit there and get on like some high horse and start preaching, but it's really interesting when people will sit there and say, well, Thomas deserved to be with, no, I mean, Douglas, no, Thomas deserved, deserved to be with his son and not Hope because, that's not biologically her son. And whenever people sit there and say things like that, let's just take a look at this example. Okay? So for anyone that's just saying, well, Hope doesn't deserve to sit there and be with Douglas, it should be Thomas's because Thomas is biologically his son and everything like that. Let's just remember this. Let's remember this whole this situation right there. Get myself worked up a little bit, but and that's why sometimes when I sit down and read the comments and stuff, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna agree to disagree. But this is the reason why I agree to disagree. Not because I think that anyone that doesn't agree with me is wrong, but you see something like this, and Tom is just like, well, I'll just make it better. We'll work it out. Yet people want to sit there and slam Hope for wanting to take custody or wanting, Hope being Douglas's mother. People want to sit there and slam her for that. But yet you got Thomas, that's literally his bio dad, doing him dirty. Ben came in there, he defended Steffi a couple of times, and that was pretty much about it. To be honest, this scene was just there for filler and nothing else. And this is the scene with Bill and Deacon, and it sucks because I actually I like Deacon, and Bill could be funny. But all Bill is doing is drinking his troubles away. Poor Bill. Both women rejected him when he acted like a scumbag. And somehow, I guess we're supposed to feel sorry for him. You profess your love to Brooke. Brooke turned you down. But then that same day that Kate came back in, you're like, hey, let's be together. Come on, we can make this work, Katie girl. After you just told Brooke, yeah, I tried with Katie and it didn't work, so now I'm moving on. And then you move right back onto her within the same day. And when Carter calls you out, you want to sit there and get pissy. Now, don't get me wrong, Carter is kind of a scumbag in himself, in himself, but he wasn't wrong. None of what he said was wrong. So now Bill is sitting there drinking and being all pissy with the bartender. So Deacon comes up and he acts like a 12-year-old little boy. Sitting there saying, na boo boo, your life sucks. Pretty much that's literally what we end up doing. That's the whole scene. It's just Deacon sitting there taking pot shots at Bill, and Bill just sitting there drinking, being all mad and, look like he wants to fight someone. So pretty much you got a group of high school boys sitting there arguing because one is acting like a scumbag and the other one's acting immature. And that's pretty much their filler. That's the episode's filler right there. I think I pretty much kind of just covered that whole thing. With that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. See you in the next video.